Yesterday, a source close to the Sussexes told Heat World there was no way Meghan would move back to Britain. Their exact words, no way, even part-time. Today, the Telegraph reports that Harry, Meghan, and both children are moving to England, and that Archie and Lilibet are already enrolled in a British school starting next month. One day, you are watching British royal family. Either that source was wrong, or something changed inside that marriage in the space of a week. And there is a royal author on the record who thinks he knows which. Give me one word in the comments before I go on. Whose idea was this? Harry or Meghan? Just say which. Here is what is actually confirmed. Because a lot of what you will read today is guesswork. The family is moving into a private home, not a royal one, somewhere outside London. The location is being kept secret for security reasons. The move is expected before September, because the school term starts then and the children are enrolled. They are not returning to royal duties. That has been stated plainly. And they are keeping everything. The house in Montecito stays. The property in Portugal stays. Meghan will go on running her lifestyle brand as ever from the new British address. So nobody is giving anything up. They are adding a country. Now, the part that makes this a story about two people rather than a property move. The royal author Andrew Lownie, who has spent years writing about that fandom, including a biography of Prince Andrew, told News 24 something this week that almost nobody has picked up. He says Harry and Meghan are not getting on as well as they used to. And then the reason, Harry, he says, feels he has been played by his wife. Played. That is a very specific word. Not disappointed, not distant. Played. As in, somebody ran a plan on him and he only worked it out afterwards. If that question interested you, subscribe before the next part. Because what Lownie says they each actually want is where this stops. Being gossip and starts making sense. His description of the split is short, and it explains 6 years in 2 sentences. Meghan, he says, is hopeful that she can make lots of money, and Harry has lost interest in all of that. What he wants instead, in Lownie's words, is to create a legacy. Money against legacy. That is the argument inside that house. And it is not a small difference of emphasis, because those two goals need opposite things. A lifestyle brand needs visibility, launches, announcements. A founder who is constantly in front of people. A legacy needs the opposite. Years of quiet, unglamorous, repeated work that nobody applauds until much later. You cannot build both from the same diary. After the reveal, which brings us to the sentence in that interview that I have not been able to stop thinking about. He wants to go back to his inheritance. Now, stop and ask what that word means here. Because it has 2 meanings, and only one of them is available to him. Harry already has the money. He received an inheritance from his mother's estate when he turned 30, and money from his great-grandmother's trust before that. Financially, the inheritance already happened. It is done. It is his. And moving to Surrey or Gloucestershire does not increase it by a pound. So Lownie cannot mean money. The other meaning of inheritance is the one you are born into. The country, the name, the institution, the place in a family that has been doing this for 1,000 years. That is what he left in 2020. And that is the thing you cannot buy back. Ask for or negotiate. The one asset in his life that has no price on it, because it was never for sale. A man who wants that has only one move available. Live there. One line on sourcing. Details of the move. A private home outside London. the undisclosed location. Timing before September, the children's school enrollment, the retention of the Montecito and Portugal properties, and the statement that no return to royal duties is planned come from Telegraph reporting and subsequent coverage. Andrew Lownie's remarks were given to News 24 and are quoted directly. He is a published royal biographer, speaking under his own name. And his assessment that the couple are not getting on is his view, rather than a statement from either of them. The earlier claim that the Duchess would not move back came from a source speaking to Heat World. The refusal of publicly funded security, the failed legal challenge, and the pending review are matters of record. Neither the Duke nor the Duchess has commented. Second question, and answer this one honestly. Can he get that back? Yes or no? Which? Because here is where the arithmetic turns against him. And it turns on his wife. If Harry is moving to Britain to rebuild a legacy, that requires him to be there for years, decades really. Slow work. Local charities, patronages, the Well Child Awards every autumn. Being a fixture rather than an event. But look at how the move is being described by the people around them. Temporary, not permanent. The California house kept. The Portuguese house kept the brand running from the new address. Every one of those details is a hand on the door handle. That is not how somebody builds a legacy. That is how somebody takes a long trip. Second mid-roll here. And there is one problem with this move that no amount of money solves. And it is the one he has been fighting about in court for years. He does not have police protection in Britain. The government refused to provide publicly funded security after he stepped back. He lost his legal challenge over that decision, and he is currently waiting on a review board to look at his arrangements again. That decision has not come, so read the plan as it actually stands. A man who has said publicly that he does not feel safe bringing his family to his own country is moving his wife and 2 small children into a house in that country at an address being kept secret, while the question of who guards them is still open. He can hire private security. People with money do it every day. And he will. But private guards cannot access police intelligence, cannot close a road, and have no powers beyond those of any other citizen. That gap is why he went to court in the first place. It has not closed. And he is moving in anyway. If you want the rest of this, and there is a part I have deliberately kept for the end. Subscribe now, because it is the piece that decides whether any of this works. The thing nobody is saying out loud is that Meghan has not conceded anything. Look at it from her side, using only the confirmed facts. She keeps her American home. She keeps her Portuguese home. She keeps her company and runs it from wherever she is. She takes on no royal duties, no protocol, no obligations to the institution. She has agreed to live somewhere. That is the entire concession. And she gets something for it. Her husband stops asking. The pressure that a source described last week as make or break comes off the marriage. And it costs her a change of address rather than a change of life. If Lownie is right that Harry feels played, this is the shape of it. He asked for a country, and she gave him a postcode. Whether that is cynical or simply sensible depends entirely on what you think a marriage is supposed to survive. 2 people wanted different lives in different places, and one of them found an arrangement where neither has to give up the thing they actually care about. That might be a marriage working, rather than failing. But it is not a legacy. And Harry knows the difference. So tell me, whose idea was this? Harry or Meghan? And when the school year ends next summer, do you think that family is still in England?